Yo, yo, yo. Post debate analysis in the Earlverse. Thank you very much. That sucked. Not a great debate by either party. And I think, what up, Sour Milk, ACDC, William Zoom, and to the lurkers. I actually think Trump being muted helped Trump because Biden and bits and pieces just seemed lost. Like there was one sentence I played back like 6 times, and I have Dolby surround sound speakers, and I swear to God, you can't make out what he said. It was like he was speaking Swahili. So, you know, I wouldn't say there was a winner of the debate, but I would absolutely say that Democrats are probably a little nervous right now. I mean, you could tell even on CNN, which is a very left-leaning network, that even they were like, he did not do well, like right out of the gate. I have actually, unfortunately. It's no fun. I mean, I wouldn't say I think Biden has dementia, but it is scary, man. He just kind of wandered off, and there was one question he was asked on abortion that was pretty straightforward answer, and like you literally can't understand what he said. So, I mean, I think he won, but I don't think he won hands down. I mean, I'll give Trump this. I mean, the bar's low for him, given how that first debate between them was, where he was like basically doing an hour and 30-minute wrestling promo. But I mean, I don't know if Trump won any votes tonight because he's got his base and that's it. But I would say Biden lost some votes tonight. No doubt about that. Come on now, Ross. That's a no-fly zone here. We can talk about the Dabbleverse. Actually, Lance, I believe I said the Florida Panthers in 7. So, and you can clip that. Get my lost interest in on the case. I did say Panthers in 7. So, I mean, I just think that, I mean, fuck, he's 81. But, Trump is 78. It's not like, I think Trump came off more coherent. Kind of got a little, I thought, I mean, yeah, they're arguing at one point about who the better golfer is. Like, what? I don't give a shit who the better golfer is. Trump crushed it. He didn't crush it, bro. I give him the edge in the debate, but he crushed it because Biden was so bad. That's not crushing it. So, I mean, I'm going to write a Steve Garvey. Okay. Dr. Jill Stein. Yes, put in the yeah, let's talk AEW. I'm done with this debate bullshit. It's like I thought Trump was more coherent, no doubt about that. But you got to figure that Democrats are on the phone right now going, Houston, we got a problem. Uh, TDS Earl. I don't know what that means, bro. You got to spell it out. Tom, Dick. I don't know what that means. Trump derangement syndrome, Earl. Thank you. ACDC 5150 $1.99. An early super chat. Trump kicked ass. Trump 78 is strong. Well, I hate to disappoint you, Junior Coltrane, but I voted for Trump in the last election, so I hardly have Trump derangement syndrome. Uh, you know, I think you have derangement syndrome of some sort. Trump did not kill it in that debate. I give him a slight edge, and that's only because Biden was so bad. Um, in my opinion, I have Forbidden Door. I don't know. I mean, I thought the first Forbidden Door was good because it truly was a forbidden door. But now that you've got the New Japan guys over here quite a bit, it's not really a true forbidden door. Um, I mean, I'm going to buy the pay per view. So I mean, I guess from that standpoint, it's going to be good. And Osprey and Strickland should be good. I like the little tease they're doing between Osprey and MJF. I like Daniel Garcia being involved in main event stuff. Um, I mean, I just don't think. I'll be completely honest with you, Steve. I don't know enough about CMLL and Stardom to care. Like, oh my God, Bank Monet is battling Bakur. I don't know who she is. It's kind of like when Jay White debuted. I didn't know who he was because I didn't watch New Japan. But now I love him. More important, Earl, your thoughts about Compound Media, Cumia closing today, merging with Gavin McGinnis. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'll be as good as it was under Cumia. I mean, because Gavin McGinnis is no Cumia. And that's not a knock on McGinnis. It's like Corolla taking over for Stern. Corolla's probably funnier than Stern, but it just and no offense to Chrissy, like I know her, like I don't know, I don't find her podcast very intriguing, and I love Gino, but it's kind of one note, and I love Gino. Debate should have had more golf and porn star talk. I mean, it just was kind of a boring debate. Um, I mean, although I like I said, I do think it benefited Trump being muted because on half the Biden gaffes tonight, Trump would have been interrupting him, so you wouldn't have fully recognized, oh, Biden's like not speaking very clearly tonight. I mean, I thought the moderators did a good job. Um, Debate. You tried to listen to who once? William Zoom. And Biden had that look on his face of like Cindy Brady, that one episode of the Brady Bunch where she froze in front of the camera. I mean, I'll give Trump this. He came off, minus the facial expressions, he came off coherent. But anyone would have come off coherent next to Biden tonight. So it wasn't so much that Trump was great, it's just Biden was bad. Hello, Queen on. That's a Skakel classic there. Yeah, no, I like Chrissy. I don't really, I've met her a few times in passing at the Comedy Store. But I don't know. I just think when that's your lead show with Gino, it's I don't know. I mean, I'd rather watch Alex Stein, primetime Stein, the greatest troll of all time. Brennan actually was kind of tearing up, showing emotion, giving respect to his super chat, of talking about how shows come to an end, Compound Media. Yeah, I mean, it is the end of an era, whether you like Kumi or not. In Hot Water with Gino and Aaron Burr was a great show, and Burning Bridges with Kevin, and So where the world was basically first exposed to Chad, and it is the end of a streaming or whatever you want to call it era. And you look at the shows that are popular now, Steel Toe. I don't know. I think after the April stuff dies down, it's like no one's going to really care about Steel Toe anymore. But they'll milk that for a while. Earl, who do you think could tell the best black joke, Biden or Trump? Well, that was the line I wish Trump, or I'm sorry, Biden would have nailed, because when they were talking about blacks and financial aspects of who was better for black people, if I were Biden and his debate staff fucked up, because that was going to come up, I would have had Biden say, "Your dad wouldn't even rent to black people in the 70s. So don't tell me about race relations." But, it's too late for that. Um, I mean, I'm not going to lie and say, I've listened to Chrissy's show a lot. I mean, I've never actually gone on Compound Media's site. Um, I think that, it's definitely the end of an era. I mean, Cumia, it's a lot of money to keep that studio up and running, and shit, just the electrical bill a month must be in the thousands with all those machines running. So I get it. Um, where was that Jeff Jarrett promo on Dynamite? I must have missed it. I fast forwarded through some things. Um, yeah, I mean, a good producer, it definitely is key. Just makes, like, I mean, obviously, I don't make enough money to have a producer, but I would love to be talking about AEW, and then all of a sudden you pop up Jeff Jarrett's face right here, and we can, stuff like that. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, Steve. Well, so that's the rent is 10 grand. So you got to figure the electrical bill, just to have those machines running. I mean, that's something you don't really think about. A simple thing like electricity, but to have those servers and monitors and cameras, I mean, that's probably, I would guess, at least 5 grand. So 2 weeks ago, you and Chad were calling Kumi a pedo. Now you're talking about how it's the end of a golden era of broadcasting with Compound closing. Actually, I don't recall talking with Chad 2 weeks ago, but I'll tell you what, whether Kumi, and I don't know much about him because I was a Stern guy. Whether he's a pedo or not, his contributions to broadcasting is, you can't deny them. So it is the end of an era with Compound closing. Now we can get into his personal life, and I think he took what was it? Didn't he take like a teenager to prom or something? Um, so you know, it's just like Michael Jackson to me was a pedo, but you can't deny his contributions to music. By the way, I read a report today that said he was $500 million in debt. Holy fuck, man! You know how much money that guy made, and to know he's 500 million in the hole. What up, Velo Urbane, my man? Um, so Lance might think you're Tony Mazer. Well, I don't think anyone's going to confuse me and Tony Mazer. Um, just trying to see if I missed any chats. Uh, but the end of the era, it doesn't really mean a lot to me because I never listened to Compound Media. I've spoken to Opie a few times on Twitter. Seems like a nice dude. He actually seems like he's going to be the best guy off. He gets trolled from his beachfront condo. I think he's doing okay. Yeah, Velo, that well, just because they couldn't find evidence doesn't mean he didn't do it. Just like, OJ was technically found not guilty. Um, I mean, listen, I believe he was a pedo. Do I have proof? I don't, to be honest with you. Well, he was. I mean, if you had, uh, if you're in your 30s having sleepovers with 13-year-olds, that's not something most people do. Does it make him a pedo? No, but it kind of points the arrow in that direction. And to pay that one kid 20 million bucks, you don't pay someone 20 million bucks if you're innocent. That's how I believe. But you and me, William, have talked about this before. We disagree. It's fine. Are you performing at the store this weekend? Yes, Saturday night I'm closing out the main room 12:15. Sunday night the original room 11 p.m. So we need that OJ tour. Yeah, probably not going to happen Sunday night. I mean, but I personally would not, William. Like if someone accused me of whatever, I would not just go, "Hey, here's a couple bucks just to be quiet." But that's me. I would go broke defending myself. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, but who knows if Gino, Chrissy, and whoever else, 100%. I'm certainly not as big of an artist as Michael Jackson was, but I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if I was the number one artist in the world or a comic virtually no one's heard of. Like, in my situation with the girl who said I threw her down a flight of stairs, I had retained a lawyer. It was basically he said, she said. And, when her credibility was really ruined uh, before I had to do anything, I lost money defending myself. Uh, well, we grew up in similar backgrounds, both rich white guys. Hello. Um, so, but that's me. I could have just let it slide, not cared, because no one really believed the girl, but still, I was like, it's not how I do it. Gavin will boot Gino and Chrissy quickly. You mean Gavin Newsom? Boing! See, I can mix in a political joke. Yes, I did grow up a poor black child on the outskirts of Detroit and Windsor, Ontario. See, I know nothing about Keanu, to be honest with you. Never played Sim City, but I did like the movie with Powers Booth in it. So hit the like button, guys. We're already at 18 minutes. We're just talking away. So yeah, tonight's debate, I give it a B. I thought the moderators were good, but I thought the rules set it up so the moderators could really not have a lot to do other than just ask the questions. What up? Are you ready to rock? Best Ralphie May moment. Well, if you go on my YouTube channel, you can actually hear the voice of Ralphie May asking me a question about wrestling. I think I put that video up maybe Tuesday. Well, I mean, without the shouting over each other, I thought they were fair. I didn't think that. I think the next debate, which I believe is in September, I don't know if the mics are going to be muted, but like I said, I hope they are because I think it's better for Trump if they are muted because you can let Biden's weaknesses in terms of public speaking really shine. Is Annie Letterman a phony? I don't talk to her enough to know, to be honest with you. Earl, I just got a Warriors Baseball Furies tank top today. Gonna wear it tomorrow. I love it. Now, here's something I just read about the Baseball Furies is Steve James, and I know William Zoom probably knows who this man is. He was the black dude with the mustache, who's in a lot of 80s movies, American Ninja, Delta Force. I guess he was a stunt coordinator on the Warriors, and he actually played one of the Baseball Furies. He probably didn't have a mustache, but I'm looking into a picture, and I can't find him, but There seemed to be about 12 baseball furies, which were modeled, of course, after Walter Hill being a fan of Kiss. But I just found it funny that a pretty black dude was one of the baseball furies. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that Sonny Landham, of course, Billy Bear from 48 Hours and Billy from Predator, he was the cop that threw Thomas Waite onto the tracks. Um, so Sonny Landham had a very brief scene in the Warriors. But that matches out that he would be in 48 Hours because Walter Hill had also done that movie. I mean, I don't think they're sacrificing Biden. I just think that, uh, I mean, after that debate, I would say that some Dems might want Biden to step down and for Kamala to take over. Be pretty hard for Trump to beat a black female. Whether she's the right woman for the job or not is irrelevant. Rare does the best person win in politics. Um, and that would be a great debate, Harris against Trump. Trump should never interrupt Biden. Let him talk until he gets winded and can't find the ending thought. 100%. That's why I think, at first I thought, oh, the mic's being muted. Trump's going to just come out there neutered. But it worked. I love that song, In the City. Well, here's another interesting thing about James Remar. I was reading that he auditioned for the role of Michael Bihn's character in Aliens. It was down between him and Stephen Lang, who I was in the Babe Ruth movie with Stephen Lang. Of course, he was in Crime Story as well, a Band of the Hand as well. And apparently James Remar got the Michael Biehn part filmed like a week or so, and then they had to make the switch. Something happened, and James Remar, I think he got arrested or something, and Michael Biehn took over. So Michael Biehn was actually like the third choice. So I'm a big James Remar fan. Of course, he was great he had a very brief scene or two in the Al Pacino movie Cruisin'. Earl, did you love the scene in Bad Boys with Sean Penn when he put a Coca-Cola can in the pillowcase and beat the piss out of Viking? Here's a funny thing. One night, a drunk Esai Morales was stumbling around the kitchen of the Comedy Store, and I talked to him about Bad Boys and Miami Vice. I've never watched Mortal Kombat, Queen on. Yeah, I mean, Remar I would love to know what other roles he should have gotten. Because, in the 80s, the mid 80s, you could probably guess that the same 4 or 5 guys were auditioning for the same things, so Michael Biehn, James Remar, Michael Pare. I mean, I could see Michael Pare in Aliens. I mean, I'm a big fan of casting, so I'm always very curious about who, like if you look at who auditioned for Han Solo, the original Star Wars, William Cott from Greatest American Hero, I think Perry King, I think Christopher Walken maybe as well. Burt Reynolds auditioned for something. So no, you can't remake the war. You couldn't. It wouldn't be politically correct. You'd have to like clean up some of the racial stuff. Yeah, I've never seen a good remake. I mean, the only good remake I've ever seen was a song, uh, Thin Lizzy's "Whiskey in the Jar" that Metallica did a cover, and I like that more than the original. But in terms of movies, the Bad News Bears remake sucked. I mean, I love Sandler, but the Longest Yard remake was a little rough. Um, I'm trying to think other remakes. I mean, there's so many bad ones, but RoboCop sucked. It was just, the things with remakes is that they lose the original charm of the movie. Like RoboCop was made, I think, for like $6 million because they had no money. So that's why most, if not all, of the scenes were at night. Um, Same thing with, if you look at the first Rocky movie, um, now they never did a remake of Rocky, but like the first Rocky movie was made for such little money that when they painted the pictures, the banners to hang during the heavyweight fight, I think Stallone's shorts were red and white, but in the movie he wore white and red, and they didn't have the money to change. Like they literally had. So that's why if you ever, I mean, you're really nitpicking, but like if you ever see the movie, and you'll notice that one scene where Stallone's in the empty arena and the fight promoter walks in, um, and he's like, "Hey, my shorts are the wrong color." And I think the fight promoter says something along the lines of, "Just give us a good fight." They didn't have the money to get like the right color shorts to match the poster. So yeah, I mean the last Ghostbusters was pretty bad. Um, Hold on, you guys are asking a lot of questions tonight, which I love. I would love. Burke could have been Landau. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could have seen him as Harrison Ford. Yeah, they probably would make it a female cast. Earl, what do you think the rent was for Bill Mann and Tom Drake in the apartment in the wildlife? I'm gonna guess about 800, 850. Dune remake, I don't know about that. What are your thoughts on Chael Sonnen accusing Vince of sexual relations with male wrestlers? I mean, listen, the world of pro wrestling is very homoerotic, so it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Vince seems like the type of guy to say, suck my dick. A hole's a hole or a mouth is a mouth to him at this point. Phil Lynott. Yes, a lot of doctors did live there. God bless Robert Ridgely. Yeah, the Blues Brothers thing was kind of weak. Yeah, the original RoboCop, you could just feel the hunger of the actors. Like they knew that, man, this movie might not have enough money to finish. By the way, someone sent me a 12-minute clip of deleted scenes from Cobra last night. Uh, uh, I can't say anything should have been left in, but like it was pretty cool to see some of the deleted scenes. Uh, Earl left me in another chat or hanging in Z-Man's chat the other day, but I'm still here. Well, I'm in and out of those chats. I'm in and out. Yeah, I mean, nowadays you use FX and, CGI and all that shit. Like, I like the first Fast and Furious, and although they haven't remade that movie, they're still making movies based on the original franchise. But it's just like, this sucks. I mean, what was the last one? They were in space? Like, what? They should remake Grumpy Old Man. I don't know about that. Um, well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. That's all I'm saying. If Vince like to dabble with dudes, why not remake Citizen Kane? It's like when they remade King Kong in '76 with who was it? Bridges and Jessica Lange, and he gets shot off the Trade Center. I guess it wasn't a bad movie. Charles Grodin was in it, but it wasn't. It just the original King Kong just had a charm about it. Um, a couple scenes with the bad guys, a lot of scenes with John Hertzfeld. He was the bad guy. He was Stallone's best friend, so it was clearly Stallone throwing him some camera time. Couple scenes with the night slasher working in like a meat factory, cutting uh, the cows, and like kind of added that I would have liked to have seen left in the movie. Just a little bit more of the bad guy. Um, I don't think so, Night Moose, because if you watch Cobra, it's like you're watching a documentary on serial killers. Now it's it's like the CGI and the vanilla acting. It's just not good in my opinion. Harry Smith, British Bulldogs kid, is wrestling down the road tomorrow here in New Brunswick. I hear he's pretty good. Citizen King Kong, Big Black coming in hot. Would you like me to get you an audition for that? I mean, Big Black, or is that racist for me to say that? Okay, I've probably seen them. There was a scene where they were tuning the car. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of it. It's about 12 minutes of scenes, couple quick scenes with Rennie Santoni and the female cop who was the bad person. Um, and then a couple extended scenes, like in the manager in the what was it, the lieutenant's office, where they're talking about how to chase the bad guy. Good evening. Have you seen Hacks? Gene Smart, very versatile actor. I have not, but I have also was a big fan of Gene Smart when she was the first lady on 24 for I think a couple of seasons. By the way, rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. Were these on YouTube? Yeah, if you look up Cobra deleted scenes, it should pop up. Yeah, it's about 11 to 12 minutes. So, like I said, I mean, I think Stallone was given the orders to really, the film was too long. I guess there is an original cut of Cobra that's like 2.5 or 3 hours. Um, and it had to be cut because it was so violent. The studio was like, "Hey, this is gonna be like an X rating, bro." So it's rumored that Stallone was like, "Well, just leave all my scenes in, and we'll just deal with that." And that's why the final cut of Cobra that you see on TV and movie theaters, not that Cobra is like the most uh, technical movie ever in terms of the plot, but it does seem to, with the bad guy anyway, jump around a lot. Like he's the leader of a cult, but they never really show the cult. Um, I think there were some things that could have made you care a little bit more about the Night Slasher's character. I mean, obviously, you already hate him because he's killing a bunch of people. I mean, you do see that in the finished product, but you got the feeling like when I remember watching it a couple of years ago, going, with a kind of, since I've been on film sets and TV shows, so I was kind of using my experience on set. It definitely seems choppy. Like they just threw a bunch of random scenes together, and as long as Stallone looked good at the end, like apparently the end scene was much more violent than it actually was. Um, so did you see Chad interview that guy, Earl? Yes, we did. Brian E. Thompson. If you look up Brian E. Thompson, inappropriate Earl, or just Brian E. Thompson, Earl Skakel, he was great. I mean, he's the definition of a working actor. I mean, he was in Terminator, which was what, 85, 84, 85? Um, or was Terminator 83? William Zoom, help me out. Um, but he's been a working actor for 40 years. So he's great, and he did. I've only paid for one cameo in my life. It was from Brian E. Thompson, and it was awesome. So Brian E. Thompson's been a working actor for straight up 40 years. Yes, I was around. I was in high school. I think it was 84 as well when Richard Ramirez was doing his thing. And the crazy thing was, I was at Notre Dame High. I think I was a sophomore when that was happening because I graduated in 86. And my fourth period class was criminal justice. And it was taught by Henry Miller, a retired LAPD officer. So it was very interesting to come to class every day and get a take from someone who had um, worked the mean streets of LA. It was like getting a insider's look on what was happening. And I remember him saying the cops probably won't chase him. He'll probably slip up and the public will get him. And that's exactly what happened. My dad, when the hell would I meet Richard Ramirez? It's not like we ran in the same circles. You guys are bonkers. Rest in peace. Bill Cobb. Yes. Bill Cobb, one of those stereotypical, not just black actors where you're like, I've seen this guy in a million things. Wasn't Bill Cobb also in that Van Damme Lance Henriksen movie where he played the Vietnam vet who got killed? What was it? William Zoom, help me. The Skid Row slasher was lesser known because he was black. Interesting. I've never even heard of the Skid Row slasher. Beloved ball washer. I love that term, ball washer. Your cousin seems like the only serious person tonight. Too bad not many will see it. Doug Heffernan. Pretty clear Biden won the debate. Ran circles around the dawn. I got to be honest with you, Doug. I disagree with you there. Biden looked lost. Even his last minute where they let Trump and Biden give their final thoughts, essentially, he couldn't even complete it. He just kind of trailed off. Yes, hard target. Thank you very much, William Zoom. I was federal law enforcement, and they talked about that book, Richard Ramirez. Still makes me lock my windows and keep a gun on my nightstand. Well, the scary thing was he was hitting all different neighborhoods. It wasn't like he was just, West Hollywood. He would hit like Montebello, he'd hit Downey, he'd hit not necessarily Compton, but like an area around Compton. So I think he had a few in the Valley, maybe. So it was just like, this guy is going all over town, which is why it took so long to catch him. And, really the cops didn't catch him. The people did. So pots and pans, I didn't see your question. What is your question, pots and pans? Williams, they are talking about replacing him now. Biden thought he was in Delaware. I mean, listen, we can all agree to disagree, but I don't know, Doug, if anyone else is going to say that Biden won that debate and ran circles. My honest opinion, pots and pans, Mr. Skakel, the question was, why did you beat down me? Like, can someone help me in chat? Let me read this slowly. Mr. Skakel, the question was, why did you beat down me? I don't know what you're saying, bro. I'm not trying to be a wise guy. Medicare. That was a good line by Trump. You got to give him that. Yeah, I mean, he killed indiscriminately. Kongzilla. Biden annihilated. No, I think he was saying Biden got annihilated. The Skid Row slasher broke into Burt Reynolds and Dinah Shore's house. They were not there. Yeah, I mean, some criminals aren't the smartest. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was bad for Biden when CNN instantly was talking about how bad he did. Now I'll watch MSNBC when I end this stream, but the Fox News is probably coming in their short hairs right now. I mean, my honest, I'm not voting for either guy. I don't like either guy. Is Trump did enough to win, but it's almost like he didn't do anything. It's just Biden was that bad. If I were the Democrats, I would have him step down and you throw in Harris, and I think Trump would struggle mightily against a black female because, he just has a thing with women where he's not very respectful, and it would just not look good. But I would say right now, and I said this before the debate, I think that Trump isn't necessarily win or lose going to win or lose people over. He's got his base, and that's all he has. And I said that Biden, if he performed poorly, would lose people. Now, the real question is, where do they go? Do they vote for Trump, who they don't like, or do they vote for Kennedy, as a protest vote? Going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting. I don't know. Pots and pans. Have you been smoking the hippie lettuce tonight? Uh, um, just vote RFK to get them on your podcast. Yeah, maybe I will. They probably took Biden to Ben and Jerry's to fuel up. Well, thank you for watching me first. Uh, yeah, 100% Queen on. Well, women like that. I mean, the Menendez brothers got marriage proposals. Yeah, smash the like button. Speaking of Richard Ramirez, kill the like button. Biden totally shit the bed, no doubt. But let's face it, Trump could eat a bag of shit on camera, and as others would call it a masterful gambit, and happily vote for him. Yeah, 100%. Like, Trump's not going to win anyone over. He's got his base. It's like Kiss fans. It's like Kiss never had an album that sold like Def Leppard or Bon Jovi, like a 10 million selling record. Kiss records in general sold, I'm talking back in the days when you actually counted records sold, 2 to 3 million records, which is a lot. But, that's why you've seen like Metallica with their Master of Puppets sold like 20 million, and, Hysteria around the same. And, Michael Jackson was Thriller, sold over 50 million. You know, you either like Kiss or you hate Kiss. And that's the same thing, I think, with Trump. You either love him or hate him. So, but that's a limited amount of people. Um, I know. Isn't that crazy about Scott Peterson? Yes. Kill the like button. I don't know what Biden's doing tonight, but you got to feel sorry for the guy. Trump won me over on the escalator before his 2015 speech. I mean, listen, I voted for him last election just because his financial policies benefit me the most. But, I don't know. He's just not my bag anymore. And I think voting for Trump or Biden is just like, what do you want, a rotten apple or a rotten orange? Well, I don't know about that, Colt C. I don't know about that. But hey, I'm glad we're all together post debate. We can talk about politics, and we talked a little bit about AEW wrestling. We got the NHL draft tomorrow. Of course, the Los Angeles Kings pick number 21. They don't have a second or a third round pick, so the Kings aren't going to be terribly busy tomorrow. Of course, they probably are working on trades right now. They could still trade Arturs Kaliev. They traded my friend Carl Grunstrom today to the San Jose Sharks. So, Carl, I hope you kick ass in San Jose. And now with trading of Carl Grunstrom, like, they have virtually no grit. I mean, they got the guy Burrows from San Jose for Grunstrom, but, I don't know if I mean, I don't get that move at all. I mean, on a team that's already jello soft, you trade literally your only aggressive player in Carl Grunstrom. And Burrows is someone that, if you look at the Kings defense, it's Doughty, Anderson, Gavrikov, Spence, England and Clark, Movari. So Burrows is 8th in the order. I just, and most King fans want England gone. So they better get some grit on July 1st, which is Monday, or they are effed. Boulder Johnny, $5, baby doll. Trump loaded up on Cialis and Zen tonight. Biden looked limp. I mean, he just looked old. Trump, and they're the same age basically, 78 and 81. Trump did not look old. Biden looked frail and he looked just old. And he is old. He should look 81. So it will be interesting to see what happens now. I mean, like if I'm the Democrats, based on tonight, I believe Trump will beat Biden. But you got another 5 months. You have, I think, at least one more debate in September. So it's not panic time yet, but it's nervous time. Absolutely. Uh, they should replace Joe Biden with Hunter Biden. Get the fuck out of here. With Trump, no wars, low inflation, low gas prices, low unemployment for white, black, Hispanic, tough on borders. What the fuck more you people want? Smarten up, folks. Uh, are you able to do a Danny Glover impression from Lethal Weapon? Not really. What up, Mud Sharks Unite? Corn Diff in the house. What up? What up? We have our second celebrity in the chat, Corn Diff, in the building, along with Big Black. I have 23 people in my chat. Corn Dip regularly has 700 to 800. So, Corn Dip, I'm coming for you. It just might take me a couple years. My grandma is almost 90 and she's much more with it than Joe seems to be. I mean, it just seems scary, man. Welcome all, Corn Diff. I have trouble keeping up with all the characters in the Dabbleverse, but Corn Diff is a good Cobb. And I don't mean Tex. I mean, maybe Newsom. They slide in Newsom. I mean, but I think the problem with Newsom is he has a record to run on. And so, like, California is a shithole. That's why everyone's leaving it. I'm not leaving it because I'm a soldier. But yeah, I mean, Newsom looks like a president. Slick talking. He's like a California version of um, Clinton, you know. But we'll see what happens. I mean, in the Democratic strategist rooms, it's it's a full blown panic operation right now. More importantly, Earl, I listened to Motley Crue's Toast to the Town while walking to a Chicago gin joint tonight to watch the debate. Good for you. Have you mentioned Becky Lynch leaving WWE? I don't watch WWE, so I didn't even know she was leaving WWE. Newsom looks like Satan if he were a person. Well, I mean, listen, I live in California, Los Angeles to be exact. And, when I posted that video the other day of the homeless encampment by my house, it's crazy the defense that Newsom got saying, well, Newsom didn't create homelessness. And 100%, he did not create it. But, in California, our governor's Democratic, our lieutenant governor's Democratic. Most of the mayors are Democratic, not all, but most. Probably 80%, I would say. I'm guessing on that. The House is Democratic, the California Senate's Democratic, so there's no excuse for the Democrats to do whatever they want in the state. Just like in Texas, the Republicans are in charge. Out here where I live, there's no excuse to have the increase in crime, and the homeless has exploded in my neighborhood and really all over. And no one wants to blame anyone. But I can guarantee you, if gas prices went down, Newsom would take the credit for it. Well, you know what? Take the credit for the homeless problem, too. Biden says he'll play Trump in golf. I mean, yeah, what was that about? Like, I don't give a shit who the better golfer is. They're literally in a presidential debate where we're on the brink of World War III. They're arguing Who has the better handicap? What? Oh, interesting. I mean, that'd be a big get for AEW. It's a damn shame Clint Eastwood never ran for governor. He'd probably still win even though he's 90. Uh, well, I mean, the taxes are crazy out here. I mean, what I pay a year in taxes it's criminal. Bill Cobbs, yes, so we talked about that for a second, Boulder Johnny. Shout out to one of the great African American and great character actors of all time, the great Bill Cobbs. Biden bought the golf up that well, actually, Trump did, AC/DC. He started talking about how he's won 2 club championships, which, I don't know if I believe, to be honest with you, because they were at his country clubs. Like, so who's really keeping score, to be frank? But just the fact that, the state of our country is wackadoony, and we've got multiple wars. We've got an economy that's tanking, and these guys are talking about golf. Uh, but there's no other place in America like Cali. I mean, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, but holy fuck, do I pay a lot in taxes? It's just like I make a fair amount of money doing what I do, and I'm wondering where this fucking money's going. I mean, I'm scared to walk my dog right now. It's what time is it? It's 8:39, and I don't want to walk my dog around the neighborhood because of the fucking crime. But wasn't Bill Cobb in that movie Hard Target, William Zoom? Or am I imagining that? Hit the like button, guys. We've got about 9 more minutes before we close up shop in the Earlverse tonight. So get your last minute political take. Who's a bigger narcissist, Stuttering John or Steel Toe? I mean, we could talk a little Dabbleverse just because Big Black's a legend. And what Big Black wants, Big Black gets. I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, it's pretty even, to be honest with you. Um, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, I always cringe when Stuttering John says, I'm more famous than all of you, which technically is kind of true. But if you have to go into a bunch of streams and internet chat rooms and go, I'm famous, you're not that famous. Like, do you see Anthony Jeselnik getting involved in podcast wars? Um, so no, I don't want to embrace the Dabbleverse because frankly, I just have nothing to add to it. Like, I just don't care about Aaron and his ex-wife. They wife swapped. It got ugly. Bam. I just literally covered it in under 5 seconds. And the Stuttering John stuff. And it's just so repeated. It's repetitive. Now they're circling back to Kate Meany, and she's just not interesting enough. That's why someone like Chad is so great, because at least Chad gets the world of pro wrestling, and he dabbles in the Dabbleverse. I do think Joe Rogan would win. What's the number, Gina Bobina? I don't have a call-in capability. Um, the Blue Meanie. I don't know what that means, but I'm friends with the Blue Meanie. Swings and roundabouts. The Dabbleverse name being applied to the entire shitverse irks me. Well, I just don't. It's just boring to me. Like how many times you gonna call Chad a drunk and Kevin angry and Steel Toe this and Shuley that? It's just like, okay, we've literally said this shit for years. Um, and would you ever interview an ECW performer? Oh yeah, I would interview anyone. I'd interview the Blue Meanie. So, and now they're making fun of Ray, and I don't think Ray realizes it. And it's just like Art Shafir said his friend Joe Rogan is a recovering D-bag. I don't know what that means, David Lee. Well, I think the problem with someone like Kate Meany is like she's only 24, And if you look at the people she's starting shit with, Kevin Brennan's in his 60s and been doing comedy for 30, 35 years. So she's not going to outwit him. She's not going to outwit, Melton, who's been doing comedy and podcasting for 25 years. She's not going to outwit Chad, who's been doing comedy for 20 years. And Stuttering John's been an entertainer for whatever 20 plus years, and Shuley for 20 plus years, and Levy for 30 plus years. She's just in over her head. Um, really, yeah, I mean, she's very pretty, but if she moved to LA, there's literally hundreds of girls who look like her. So right now in the Dabbleverse, she's winning, if you want to call it that, because she's the prettiest girl in the Dabbleverse. Um, but when someone else comes along, a little younger, little funnier, Kate Meany's pushed aside. So yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Uh, yeah, Big Black. Are you going to stretch her out? Oh, I see. I thought she said Big Black was going to stretch out Kate. Um, See what you want. Better looking woman in Koreatown, LA. I mean, no, she's pretty. I mean, I saw a picture of her. It's like, oh, she is really pretty with not a lot of makeup, but she's I saw it in Roast Battle, a lot when. Now I'm talking to the LA show, where anytime there was a young, pretty girl involved in the show, it was like a big deal. Like, oh my God, new pussy. And then, as soon as like a slightly younger, prettier girl would come in, that first girl's gone, and then it's a very brutal wheel of fortune, I guess. I mean, anytime your whole shtick is based around your looks, at some point you will get old. Now, in the Dabbleverse, it would take just a young female open micer who's got bigger tits than Kate to come on, and then no one wants to talk to Kate anymore. ACDC 5150, your thoughts that Ari Shaffir drugged other drinks? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Ari dose Bert's drink or something? I mean, obviously, I'm against that. I don't think that's very cool to do under any circumstance. Um, Dr. Nova terminal bag, beloved ball washer. It's going to be my tax refund. Ari drugs people for breakfast. Hey Earl, sorry for getting here late. Was watching the debate. Me too. Me too. Yeah, I mean, if someone did that to me, I'd kill them. I'd literally, as soon as I recover, I would literally kill them. It would take, if someone did that to me, say on Rogan's podcast, and it would take Joe and 8 of his MMA buddies to get me off that guy. Ari doused both Bert and Big J. Why not just do malls with people who want to party or save it? Well, I mean, Ari's got a weird sense of humor. If Ari didn't do that, Bert wouldn't be on the edge waiting to jump into Lake self-awareness. Ari dosing Bert is more famous, but Ari's reverse dosing of Luis Gomez, which was much more impressive. I don't know anything about that. Bert Kreischer's wife wanted to kill him for it. That's a scumbag move. Earl would beat his ass. I would beat anyone's ass if they dosed my drink. I would kill them. I mean, literally, if I have a temper, and since I'm straight edge, if someone did that to me, it would like I'm not very strong. I'm not a great fighter, but I have like retard strength, or Riri strength. Sorry. Uh, how much Molly can you put in a shot glass? I don't know. Ari sucks. I thought you were cool with. I am cool with Ari. Uh, it's because he's never dosed my drink. What up, Brittany? What up? What up? What up? Remember when Bert was on Travel Channel? I do not. Uh, Big Bert and Big J do drugs. They're fine with Ari. Nobody would dose you. Well, someone probably would just to get a laugh. The real Van Wilder never saw X for Molly in his 8 years at Florida State. Bert is a joke. We got some women in here, Gina and Brittany in the house. I despise jug. If some junkie like Ari doused me, Ari would be in the hospital. Yeah, I mean, he does, William. Indeed, he does. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've got a great sense of humor, but if someone ever doused my drink or put something in my burger, I'd it would not be a good day for that person. Um, no, I don't think Ari roofied anyone. Drugs are bad. Okay. Get your last minute questions in, guys. This is just a quick hour long Earlverse. We're just chilling right now. Are you into ladies' armpits? No, but they're into me. Hello, boing boing. Big Black, send Gina the link. Big Black, I work alone on this stream. I don't interview people. I don't. This is a stream of consciousness. Um, so I'm trying to stand out from the other. I don't have a call in number. Um, I mean, I wish I would. I work well with live calls, but wouldn't I have to hook up a phone to a computer? And I don't have any more ports in the back of my iMac. Yeah, good question, Cold C. Good question. 31 live viewers. Yeah, I mean, this is I'm working on getting the stream bigger and better, but you know, it hasn't taken off like I thought it would. Um, but I'm happy with the stream. I think like I've said a million times before, I realize that doing a non-Dabbleverse stream will hurt my numbers. I'm sure if I got into roasting the other people or had Kate Meany on or whoever, that my stream would be a lot more popular. But I don't. I'm good. I'm good on having 26 people in here right now. We're talking politics. We're talking AEW pro wrestling. We're talking pussy and but we can talk about the Dabbleverse. I don't have a lot to add to it, to be frank. So, um, yeah, I mean, I did, there was a time when if I got 10 people in my stream, it would really be like an amazing feeling for me. So it's growing, not at the rate I would like, but I cannot do a Biden impression. Yeah, here's Biden tonight. I mean, Biden was giving me Boschetti vibes. Did you see Moxley's blood sport? I thought you meant Martha Moxley. Hello. Um, I did. Very good match with the great Josh Barnett. Thank you very much, the War Master. By the way, I'm going to Circle Six on Saturday before my set at the Comedy Store to see Matt Riddle. How was this guy in WWE 6 months ago? And now he's in Circle Six at a bar. Brittany, never thought I'd laugh so hard at a debate. Tonight was maybe a little too funny. Yeah, I mean, it's when they were talking about golf, that's when I had to like take a pee pee. I mean, it was like this is like all the problems in the world, and you guys are going to talk about golf. Artie Johnson was very funny. I remember him glasses, kind of a bowl cut. Very, very funny. Is Schlack still in Circle Six? I don't follow Circle Six that much, to be honest with you. I only know Schlack from XPW. I just think it's funny that Dave Navarro sits there and tells someone who's been tattooing for 20 years, you're not a good tattooer when, you know, the conditions they're making these people tattoo in are so insane, and I like Dave Navarro. I used to take spinning right next to him. I was just trying to be funny. I have noticed that my views of doing more shorts than long form videos or streams. What I've started to figure out after, say, 6 to 7 months of streaming seriously is that streaming is more for the fans I already have. So I don't really increase my subs with doing an Earlverse stream. It's more of a reward for you guys. And the long form videos, anything that's really over a minute is kind of the same. It's really more for the fans, but the shorts are doing quite well with getting new people to my stream. So, at the end, I'm trying to really, placate my fans who supported me from day one, but also get new fans, especially in the streams. I mean, imagine, we're having a good stream tonight with 27 people, but imagine if there was a few hundred people in here and, we could just all interact and it'd be a little more livelier. I'm having a good time. Maybe we'll definitely do a stream Sunday night after Forbidden Door. Um, Let me see what else. We'll probably do a stream tomorrow night. I might take Saturday off, but I'm trying to get better about doing the streams at the exact same time. Uh, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Just hit the sub and notification button, and you'll know whenever I go on. I realize Forbidden Door, Big Black. Are you not a wrestling fan? There's WWE and then there's AEW. And AEW has a pay per view this Sunday called Forbidden Door. It's when AEW wrestlers take on wrestlers from a promotion called New Japan, which is in Japan. And, it's pretty good if you like pro wrestling. But if you don't like pro wrestling, you could give a fuck about Forbidden Door, to be honest with you. Swerve is fighting Will Ospreay for it's a double title match. So that's going to be a great match, and they're teasing MJF might have something to do with it at the end. Because I will say that, excuse me, that obviously AEW's WrestleMania is London, All in London, which is in August. So you've got a lot of guys who could be in contention for the heavyweight title. You've got, I doubt MJF came back to not be the champion. I doubt Osprey signed to not win the championship in London. You got your first African American champion in the AEW, Swerve Strickland. So I doubt it's not a good look if you take the belt off him so soon. And I'm sure, excuse me, Okada did not come in from New Japan to just fuck around with the Young Bucks. So I hope the writing's good because there's a lot of good potential for All in London. And Kenny Omega is probably going to come back at some point. So, I mean, I will say that, I'm sure people are looking at, I mean, RFK is not going to win. He gets like 4% of the vote. The Kill Tony chat used to be awesome, but now it looks like the Matrix Code. I mean, I think Kill Tony now is jumped the shark in a sense because it's so big and playing arenas, which is great for Tony and Red Band. But if you go back to some of those Kill Tonys I was on, that's when I think the show was at its best. It's like Roast Battle is the same thing. As soon as Roast Battle got to TV, it was ruined. When my season one, half the cast shouldn't have been on the show. Mark Norman, Sam Morrell, Miss Pat, Ralphie May, Chris Cubas, Christy Cello. None of them were roasters. But it's like, oh, they're all famous comics or, known comics. Let's get them on because Sam Morrell and Mark Norman, it's a special coming out. Well, no one's going to want to watch their special if they bombed on Roast Battle. So, that's, most shows jump the shark when they get too big. How many viewers does Kill Tony get live each week? I have no idea, to be honest with you. That's how I found you, Earl, watching old Kill Tonys. Yeah, I mean, I had a blast on some of the Kill Tonys. On some of them, I didn't. Because I was actually trying to give help to the younger comics, and you could tell the audience, especially towards the end where it was really getting bigger, they were like, "We don't want to hear advice. We want to hear you ripping these guys." So, but I always had a good time. I feel like Tony pushes hard on some people the audience just doesn't agree with. Well, I mean, Tony's a bully, because you could tell Tony got bullied as a kid. I got bullied as a kid, which probably explains why I'm good at roasting. Because from the fourth grade on, I've been having to basically defend myself verbally. Um, so, um, but there's no denying that he's made it a hit. I mean, Jesus, he was on the cover of Variety. That's fucking nuts, man. And I'm proud really more for Red Band. I mean, Red Band, if you think you never really hear Red Band get love, but he helped start the Rogan podcast. He helped start Your Mom's House, Christine and Tom's podcast. Now he's helped start Tony's podcast. I mean, three of the biggest podcasts in the last 10 years, Red Band has started. So Kill Tony gets 2 million views a week. I mean, listen, I get it. I think that uh, people like that lowbrow humor. It's like roast battle. Why that popped for a minute. Certainly not as big as Kill Tony, but people love that low level bottom feeding humor. He helped start Your Mom's House, you son of a bitch. I know. That's what I'm saying. Detroit by Dark. Uh, Well, I mean, I was bullied because I've told this story before. Uh, I've been the same size since fourth grade. So, I was called Elephant Man and Andre the Giant, Earl the Giant. And, you know, that's a lot of weird shit to hear as a fucking kid in the fourth grade. So, verbally, I knew I couldn't hit people, but, so I became very skilled verbally. And Tony was probably bullied for the opposite reason, since he's a little smaller in stature. I can imagine what he was called. So, just kids are mean, man. And now with the advent of, back then, I'll give the bullies of my era this: if you had to bully someone, you bullied them to their face. There wasn't really the internet and shit. But now kids can just slop on their computer at home and say, "Fuck this guy! Look how fat this girl is," and blah blah blah. Uh, But kids are mean, man. Kids are mean. Kill Tony's been the William Montgomery show for years. William is the headliner. William couldn't headline the head of a line. That shit gets old after 5 minutes. Um, I think one kid did call me Rocky Dennis. To be honest with you, Kill Tony is better than the Dabbleverse streams. I mean, I think there's more variety. SCVID. Uh, a Kill Tony. I mean, the Dabbleverse is the same shit day in and day out. It's Steel Toe, Stuttering John, Ray DeVito. They circle back to Kate Meany, Chad, and then they repeat. Um, I got something thick for you to abstain on. Gold Sea. Hello. All right, you kids. Earl Skakel. I mean, I don't find the regulars that funny on Kill Tony. I mean, let's see them do stand up for 15 minutes. Then I'll be impressed. Anyone can do 1 minute of comedy. I'm not that impressed by it. So James McKeon, Tony is a pretentious douchebag. Couldn't hack it in Hollywood, so needed to follow Joe to Texas. Well, smart man. I got to be honest with you. If I knew that following Joe to Texas would get me into arenas, I'd be in Austin right now. But I'm a soldier. I'm going to stick it out in California. It's a podcast, not a stand-up special. But the whole thing is based around this person's a good stand-up because they can do 1 minute on Kill Tony. I know it's not a stand-up special, but the problem is with Kill Tony is you get these kids who, stumble through 1 minute of comedy on a podcast. They get a following, because you do get a following from the show, and then you're asked to headline a comedy club, do an hour. And when you're asked to headline a comedy club and you're asked to do 45 minutes to an hour, and it's not just standing up there for 45 minutes to an hour. They want you to be funny for 45 minutes to an hour. And, we're all creatures of habit. So these kids who are practicing their new 1 minute every week on Kill Tony, they're not conditioned to do anything longer than 10 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, Big Black headlining his work. I mean, Saturday night, I'm headlining the Comedy Store, closing out the main room. I'm asked to do a minimum of 45 minutes, and it's 45 minutes to a crowd that is tired. They've seen 6 or 7 famous comics, and now here's the last guy, and they give me about 2 minutes or they walk. Um, I mean, it does set them up to fail because it's a format that is short form. And comedy clubs, they don't give a fuck. They're going to look up and see Johnny Hendricks, 80,000 Instagram followers. Let's have him headline the weekend. And then Johnny Hendricks doesn't have 10 minutes. And the 10 minutes that he does have, he's going to be so fucking nervous. He's going to do that 10 minutes in about 3 minutes. And then you got to be up on stage for another 57 minutes. And it's not just going to the guy in the front row going, hey, where are you from? But, that's just my opinion. You ever seen a comic stumble like Biden did tonight? I have. I've seen comics perform much worse than Joe Biden tonight. I mean, you might as well have specials be 10 minutes. I mean, I know what's that production company out of Vegas? They were literally doing 9-minute specials. What? We got to make a bipartisan pact with each other. No presidential candidate over 60. Yeah, I don't think I mean, why would Joe leave Texas? I mean, why would anyone who makes the money Joe makes leave Texas? There's no state income tax. So, his taxes are probably 30% less than what they would be here. And it's just cheaper to live. You can get a $5 million home in my neighborhood in Austin, the same home. I'm talking the same home is 400 grand. So you can imagine the house Joe lives in would be probably $100 million home in California. So, I mean, listen, I don't think he can, Big Black. Um, So, well, but it's the same thing with and it started probably with Last Comic Standing that showed comics doing 2 minutes of material on TV, and then they get a following from that show, and then they're asked to headline. Like Dat Fan was asked to headline clubs. He didn't have 15 minutes. Even he said he didn't have 15 minutes. So it's just that. I am a comedy soldier. I think my comedy special is just going to be called "Fuck It." So, all right, you kids. Earl Skakel, Earlverse. So let me thank my tippers tonight. I forgot to do that tonight. I apologize. Thank you, ACDC 5150 twice. And the Great Boulder Johnny. I appreciate the love always. You guys are always good to me. And if you can't super chat, no problem there. Just hit the like and subscribe button. Retweet the things I throw out. Big Black, always a pleasure to have you in the house. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, probably around 6 p.m. Love you all. Earl Skakel, out.